Welcome to the AW Confidential podcast. In October, we celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month. Demographics reflect a growing Latino population. Latinos have added trillions of dollars to the U.S. economy. Brands are even shifting their campaigns to be more inclusive of our community. And we've made quite a bit of progress. Unfortunately, we lag a bit behind other industries. It is why it's so critical to support Latino talent as well as partners like NBC Universal Studio Group, which is making a real impact by featuring such a diverse lineup in their programming. And one of their featured actors is with us today. Mexican American actor Nicholas Gonzalez has an extensive list of acting credits. Marco Furey, Pretty Little Liars, Orlando Lagos, Being Mary Jane, one of my favorites, Dr. Neil Melendez in The Good Doctor. And he was also part of hit shows like The Flash and How to Get Away with Murder. In his most recent role, he plays Levi Delgado in the fan favorite NBC's La Brea. Nicholas, welcome and thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Oh, I am so happy to be here with you, Yvette, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. I've been needing to write a bio forever, and everyone gives me grief about it. And that was great. I think I might just take that from the text. Thank you.
You go
What a
ahead.
wonderful.
And I had to shorten it, by the way, because you have actually done so much amazing work. And the first thing I want to do is congratulate you because you have really just picked some great roles and with substance. And now you're part of this show, La Brea, which is sort of a sci-fi adventure series. And my first question for you is sort of ties into what I just said. In past interviews, you've stated that you like universal stories with good writing and fleshed out characters, which you have done such a good job with. And this is not an exception. So I'd love to know, can you share a little bit about La Brea and at the same time, maybe tell us about your thought process as to why you had that sort of moment where you felt like I have to do this project. It's amazing. It's really good.
Well, thank you, first of all. You might have to direct me through the answer on this one because we have a few, angles that might take me away on tangents, and I get talking and I forget what the question was, like right now. But as far as I remember it, if La Brea was that project where it was like, I have to do it, at the time we were coming out of the pandemic, and as an actor in entertainment, you're wondering, when are sets going to be open? And I was fortunate to be one of the few people that started off very quickly post-pandemic, even kind of as it tailed off, and was able to work, which was very grateful to be able to do that, to just simply provide for my family in a very uncertain time. Good Doctor and leaving that was a heartbreak, and
for us too.
thank you. And so, for my whole family, and I think we were looking for something at that time, and La Brea came, and with a very beautiful promise of an interesting story. I loved when I sat down with David Applebaum and told him, let's talk about this guy. And the things he talked about with this character just got me so excited, because he's in a sticky situation, and he's
Don't give it away.
Well, people know very quickly from the beginning that he's in, an affair, and it's hard when we also, our values wise, we want to respect this character because he's also a decorated captain, which you failed to mention, Captain Levi Delgado. Pilot and military man, and a very upstanding character. And one of the main things David told me from the beginning, he said he is a trustworthy, honorable man, which is interesting to say when from the first, his entrance in the third episode, we find out that he very much was not someone that Gavin could trust, but that's his core. And we all go through something. And I think a man caught in this particular time, that was interesting to me. Working immediately after a worldwide pandemic was interesting to me too. I've been lucky that those two have coincided in being surrounded by great people. I love the actors I work with. I love the crew. The people of Australia are so warm, and it comes through with everybody that works so hard on this show. It's not an easy show to shoot. So while we're very excited about the final product, it's a pretty grueling shoot. It's not like when I was in sound stages in Vancouver and shooting Good Doctor, which was pretty cushy. I'm out here.
More
I'm
challenging.
older. People that are listening can't see the grays that you can, but I'm an older man, and I'm running around, and I'm kicking some butt, as you notice. So that entails me lifting this leg above my waist, which I'm feeling it each day after work.
Something it's hard. But I mean, one of the
but
things
I love,
that
to answer your question a little bit more too, is I love obviously representation, and what I love is when it's so easy and it's such an intrinsic part of what the person is. And yet it's not the thing that we have to focus on and talk about. And it's not, which there's a time and a place for all that as well. But for me, I've always been pulled in more by characters that are just awesome, or people that I admire. Or if I could go those different directions in my life, I want to be, and be that kind of image for someone watching. I mean, I watched and grew up on TV and movies as a kid, and obviously a brown kid. And I didn't know I was so different until I went to college. That's what I really found out. And, so it's nice to actually provide an image for I think younger as well as, people older. I've been amazed at the response thus far.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I know growing up, I didn't see a lot of, probably, I can't remember any right now, but brown people on screen. And I read that according to a 2021 donor collaborative report, Latinos make up 2.9% of lead roles and 5% of co-leads in the entertainment industry. So representation is not where it could be at all. But with allies like, Universal Studio Group, we're making progress. So I was wondering, because we just spoke about, that little boy or girl sitting in front of the screen, did you ever imagine working, on a project like this with, a platform like USG? And it's not just USG, it's across the board. You've just had some great roles. So I was wondering, that you sort of visualize yourself, thinking, this is what I'm going to do and it's going to happen. And, for all the dreamers out there, I'm just wondering.
Well, for the dreamers, yeah. I very stupidly and run into things with an idea of how it all could be, with very little plan or preparation. So yeah, dream away, sweet dreamers. But the reality of the situation is, it's not a easy, it's not an easy profession. I think we all would love to say we want to play characters that we love and respect, that the final product is going to be something that resonates with the audience. Those are all, that'd be incredible, so I think you're blessed when it all happens and it all comes together. But yeah, for me, I a lot of times I'm just another guy going into an audition, and I don't know as much. I haven't read the script, and all I've been given are these sides of 5 pages about this character, and then a little bit of a description, and I gotta make this come alive. So I'm just trying to get the job a lot of times. So I wish I could say I was always holding out for the best and, well, show me what you got and I'll tell you if I'm going to work on it. That's not the case. I'm lucky enough to, yes, I get offers and things like that, but that's besides the point. It's about what you just asked, is projects that resonate and that you can feel proud of. And, sometimes I've just been really fortunate, and maybe that's what I'm trying to, it's a symbiotic thing of like what I'm going into hoping to be the final output, and maybe it's resonating with what they're trying to do. Sometimes, sometimes you're just not the right choice,
Well,
and you just keep moving.
I think Well, I think you embody Levi, so that's just my opinion. But one of the special, I think, wow, there's so many elements about this show. I really just enjoy sitting in front of the TV every week because it's almost like watching a film, but in short segments. And if we put that aside, sort of the technical part, the fact that the cast is so diverse is truly special because it's not just Latinos. It's just an amazing cast of, you know, different backgrounds, different races, different abilities. And, you know, it's something that we should absolutely support. So I would ask you, just as far as what can we do as, you know, as I'll say the truth, the minority. How do we support you? How do we support shows like this? What can we do better? And I do my part by having amazing talent, having partnerships with, you know, group, you know, allies like USG. But how would you, in your opinion, what is something that we can do, that we can all do?
Well, I mean, I don't know about what we can all do, but I think for people that are blessed with the ability to write and create stories, that's the biggest thing that you can do, because these things don't exist without those dreamers who think up the ideas or bring these stories to light or care about it enough to say this needs to be represented in a way that's going to resonate with, you know, young Latinos coming up, or um I mean, you know, I would say we always support projects, you know, that you love, that feature, you know, diverse casts and Latinos. Uh, but I also say make your product good. You know, just because something is a Latino show, I mean, look, I still support, but at the same time, wouldn't it be a lot easier if we, you know, we got to get shots at it. That's the hard part. You know, we got to get more and more, and as you're getting more and more, we get better and better. But that's what I just think the content has to be good, and we have so much good stuff out there now. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and being just really discerning about that.
And talking about content, I don't want to let you go before you answer my question.
Okay.
Tell us just a little bit about La Brea and your character, just in a nutshell.
Oh, some more. Gosh, I mean,
Are we
you're catching me
are we
right near the
going
end of season two, and I can tell you this. I'm not going to go through a character description of
okay.
Levi. What I will go through to tell you is he goes through immense changes, and I am right in the middle of it right now. They're
Ah,
emotional. Very unexpected, very unexpected. So stay tuned. But you know, I think he is exactly as David Applebaum described him. You know, he is this trustworthy, honorable man who's trying to do the right thing, who's also, you know, in love.
oh man. Okay. Okay. So, just to wrap this up, for anyone that has not watched, what is your best pitch for telling them this is something you need to watch? Give me your best pitch.
Um,
You don't have to convince me or watch, but
best bitch. I don't know. I mean, you like you like sci-fi. Do you like time travel? Because there's time travel. You like primitive, you know, settings. We're in 10,000 BC. There's twists and turns where you're always satisfied. I think that's one of the interesting things people say about like with episodes. You're always finding out stuff. You're not Everything's not left hanging with like, well, what about this? It's all kinds of
that's true.
starts to come together, and you see that they actually do have a plan, that they're not just crazily writing in different directions. So when that all comes together, I think that's what's really going to be exciting, and it's happening for us right now. We're reading these scripts, and these little connections that are being made. We're like, oh, that's the symbol from, you know, and we're trying to figure it out too. We have no idea.
Awesome.
To watch.
Awesome. So let our listeners know what time, what channel, where we can find you.
Boy, well, I'm all messed up in space because I'm in the future right now, Yvette. But from the future, from what I
That's right.
remember, It is Tuesday nights on NBC, 9/8 Central, and also streaming on Peacock the day after.
That is right. And how can our listeners find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram as at LTexMex. Twitter, if anyone even messes around with that anymore, I am Nick Gonzalez. That's where I get my news. And yeah, I don't tick or talk, so catch me on screen.
I'm sure they will track you down on one of those socials. Nicholas, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure chatting with you and just learning more about your character and you. Much success. I'm sure it's going to continue being a hit. We are on season 2. And thank you. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me, Yvette.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.